Hi everybody, we did it. This is day 12, the 12th day of our December series, the 12 days of comfort and color, and we have made it. We are this far. It's been so fun seeing your work along the way, and I'm going to show you what we're going to paint today, but this is funny. This is the only example I have to show you. It's this, and we're going to work on it together. We're going to get there together. I don't have it bigger because I just haven't done it yet. And I thought if we do something and we use this, but we change it along the way and make it something that we love, using different patterns, kind of stacked from top to bottom, I think we're going to love it. So we're just going to hang out together and we're going to paint. And you know the drill by now. So we'll make sure that we have something cozy or delicious. I once again have that Diet Dr. Pepper in here because that's what I've been drinking. And we'll get our candle, get that lit, and what else? A blanket, maybe some music. I can't do music, but I would otherwise. Got my blanket today and a big cozy sweater because it is like cold today. I think I went outside and it was like, feels like 12 out. Gross. So, okay, that was our list of cozy. Let's get into our list of supplies real quick. Same stuff as always, but I'm going to go through it again in case this is your first time here. We've got a set of watercolor paints, some kind of a towel or a paper towel, but I love a towel really because it absorbs. You can dry it out, use it the next day. If you've got a little jar of water, keep it low like this. I have I have 140-pound cold pressed watercolor paper, 6 inches by 9 inches for mine. If you were doing the greeting cards, we talked about different sizes that you could do on the setup video. We've got a template for this one, so we're just using the same one throughout so that we have consistent sizing. If you don't have it, you do not need it. What else? Pencil and a kneaded eraser. And I've got those here. I have got a size 10 round watercolor brush. I love this size and I use it basically for everything. If you have a spray bottle and some kind of a craft heat tool, that would be great as well. And I think that gets us where we need to be. Make sure that you are comfy and you are cozy, and let's get started. All right, let's see how this goes. This is what we're working with. And we're going to observe first. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sections from top to bottom. Now this is like a wonky shape, you know, that's okay. But I am going to use my template, and for some reason, I just like to face it that way. So I am going to do so and take it down towards the bottom again. Actually, I think I'll leave it kind of short, but I am going to tip it because look at that one little fluffy fuzz ball. Isn't that cute? And I definitely want him on there, and I love those colors together. I also really like this different sort of color scheme. It looks like socks to me, doesn't it? Like you'd buy these at the store, and or I would. And I just really like that. I want to point out one thing. This row right here is made up of circles, and when we do that, it's great. It just is going to give us tiny spaces to fit in around them, okay? If you're not up for that today, do wavy lines instead here, and it'll be a little bit easier on you. If you want it more complicated, you'll do more rows of things. Like here might be 3 different things, and that's great. If you want to simplify it a little bit, you might just do a few, and that's fine too. So let's get started with that. We've got our template here. All right, do I sound out of breath? I do, but so in between filming my intro and getting to this point, my chair, like the screw fell out of it, so I had to like flip my stool upside down and go get my toolbox and screw the screw back in and laugh to myself about if that was on video, that would have been funny and all that. I raised my desk up, and I like it because then I can stand or I can sit. We're actually not going to have these this time, so we'll, even if you already did them, that's fine. We'll lift it up, turn it, and once again, we'll just connect them and then erase that excess, okay? But, so I raised it up, and I love doing this. I do it every now and again. I'll raise my desk back up, kind of when I'm cleaning my studio, which I just did. It was so lovely. And then I realized I'm on this big, thick wool rug down here at home in my studio, and I can't move. I cannot roll this chair for the life of me. I cannot roll it while I'm on it. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but The things we have to deal with. Okay, I haven't done this on any of the others, but today I feel like I kind of want to straighten this line out. So that's completely optional. Maybe you've done it every time because it's bugged you how it dips a little bit. But I think because we're about to go in with these horizontal patterns, that just might bother me. I was too busy telling you stories today to tell you to press lightly on your pencil. So I'm having a harder time erasing today because I think I also pressed harder. But I got it. There we go. And let's get that fuzz ball in so we have our full outline going. Notice it comes from the top, or it would come from the top, swings over. It's kind of a short one, and then this is very fluffy. So let's actually do that with our pencil today. We can put some marks here where it's going to come from, and maybe it's even this way, downward curve this time, and it'll swing over. Okay, so anywhere, don't worry too much about this one. Swing it over. We can have this one kind of match. Notice I'm coming over to the right a little bit first. Run that line alongside of this next one, and then let's make this nice and happy. Happy and fuzzy. I'm really scribbling it on here this time. Oh, that feels delightful. So if you don't want to do it like this, as always, you could just do this real nice light circle here, and then you can actually do this part with your paint later. That's up to you. And now I'm going to get in there, and since this ribbon would be on top of the stocking, it shouldn't have any stocking lines going through it. So I'm going to erase those, get rid of them. And then I'll just redraw whatever I accidentally erased. Cute. Excellent beginning. So this is where I want you to play. I am not going to probably do this exact thing. I'll start with it. It will be my guide. If you want to take a screenshot, now is a good time with your phone or whatever. But I don't know. I might keep to it if it feels fun in the moment. And if it doesn't, I might add a new design made up of zigzags or little cloud shapes, like maybe this but tinier. Any pattern I can think of. And so that's our little guide. What a cutie. And we're going to start. I do love this big part on the top and having that be a little bit bigger, and it gives the impression that it is the cuff on this one. So I'm going to come down maybe like 2 fingers down. And I notice it has 3. I'm going to try to leave that. So I might actually, instead of starting at the end, I might try to put one right in the middle first that I like. So I notice, so I make that one sort of centered, and then I'll match it on these sides, and noticing its full width is about this. So if I were to put that here, it's going to actually go to here. You can do the same thing I just did with your pencil if you want. And if you're like, that's more than I need, then don't do that today. I like that we have options. I'm going to do it again just to see. I'm a little curious today. Ooh, all the way over there. That just gives me an idea of how to make this curve really work with the middle one. And even now, I'm not double checking it because I don't care that much. It was just fun to look at it. Let's see. So the first thing that I did was I made this blue section end with just a straight line. I think I am going to do that, and that gives us the ability to stick straight lines in randomly. It's just going to make it so it's balanced if you use them here and there. I will use this top line as a guide, and I'm going to come about here. Now, you may want to turn your stocking so that it really is kind of vertical for you. That's going to help you, if this is vertical and this is horizontal to it, this would create a square on each of the corners, and that will help you get this straight line. It really will kind of make sense with the top of your stocking, but it won't make sense with your sides because we're not working on a grid here. So let's see. Looking at this one, I'll do this. And oh, I moved my little scrap paper. That's why you never clean, you guys. Hold on, I think I can find it. It's behind my lights today. Let's see here. This is one of the strips for our paints if we wanted it. And look at that. If I line it up, I could just use that, or I could have just used it to check myself, and I was kind of doing that too. Yeah, I kind of like that. So look, I'm going to use the top one, and this line's going to be skinny. So see how I'm winging it? Like that's how I decided. 1, 2, 3 sections, and then I'll have more. Keep going. I think I will try to get these little straight lines in there now and again. So I had a zigzag one next, but I actually don't want the zigzag. Look at how mountainy that looks. It looks very much like we're in the wilderness. And it's mainly because green and blue too. But I think I want to do this scallop design instead. Like, look at the sweetness. You can clean this up later, but just press lightly on your pencil. Any kind of repeating thing. I'm not going to clean it up because we don't need perfection. Okay, this one's clearly shorter. Who cares? And from here, what if in one of our sections we had little polka dots? That'd be cute, but then you're going to have to go around them or do a lighter color behind. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so this is going to be a stripe down here because I want space for polka dots within this section. I'm just deciding all of this on the spot. And some kind of straight line. I'll go ahead and get rid of my little starts here just so that I don't end up erasing my polka dots in a minute. Let me get in there. Is that better? Were you mad at me a minute ago for not zooming in? Okay, now within this, I am going to get some polka dots in there. Okay, I hope that helped. And I'm gonna go kind of a medium, a little smaller than my pencil eraser. And when I paint this though, I don't want to paint around those. I just don't want to. So I'm gonna choose, for example, a really light blue background, and then we'll just glaze these over the top. Remember, that's our layering or wet on dry. And I'm placing these randomly. I'm not overthinking it. I just want kind of equal space between them. So pop some polka dots on there. Good. Good, good, good. You could have them kind of falling off. You could have halves or whatever. Totally personal preference. I like it this way. I think that's pretty good. Nope, I need one more right here. Better, right? Okay, I've got a straight line, so why don't I stick another one in here? I do like the ability to really have like straight plus curvy. So this one I'm going to make wider. So I'm trying to kind of measure it on both sides first. And then I'll pull this. Oh, look how cute this whole thing is getting. I'm thinking I'm going to need another polka dotty section somewhere like here-ish maybe. And so if that's the case, yeah, I'm going to keep with it. Big scallops, little scallops. Now I'm calling them scallops. Really wondering about that word. Bunting. Scallops are fish. All right. We'll never know. It's gonna remain a mystery. I'm gonna do like a medium size one here. All I'm doing is trying to match the side, the one next to it. Ish. Cute. Now that looks like a little elf stocking. If like this was all designed and that was one color. Okay, I want one more straight line in here first, I think. Or do I? Let's decide. No, I'm gonna leave this big and I'm gonna do tiny polka dots on the next part. So I'll put my straight line down here. And I am finding I do kind of want to use this because I'm questioning my ability to do a straight line at the moment. So if I do it here, I'm gonna line it up at top, but I want it a little bit lower. So then I'm gonna pull it down, lightly pull it across in case that's not where I want it. And then I'm gonna fill this with just something smaller than that, just so like they won't be compared because they're distinctly different. Yeah, like this. Oh, this would be cute if this section was light pink with dark red because it makes me think of a strawberry. Okay, I'm loving this. So just tinier than before, adding some little random circles, evenly spaced, imperfectly perfect. Oh, the cuteness. Wow, I'm obsessed. It's fun to make these up on the spot because then it's new to me too. Okay, I love it. That takes us all the way down to here. I'm gonna just kind of count it. I don't need perfection, but I do really appreciate some balance. So straight line, straight section, straight section. I'm gonna do one more here, and then if I could, well, actually, watch this. If I do straight on top because of space here, if I only did a scallop right here, I'd have 1, 2 sections, and I could do a bigger scallop going the other direction. Notice how we did that on here, and it looks kind of like a little cloud, and I thought that was cute. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna leave straight and then something like this. It is wonky. I'm leaving it. Oh, so I never ended up doing the circles. If you want those in that row of circles, that's cute too. So that's another option for you. This is so cute. I'm wondering if this should have polka dots in it. Ooh, yep, it should. Decided. Maybe I go tiny again, balance that out. So I have no idea what you're doing with yours, but I'm hoping that you're loving it as much as I'm loving mine. This turned so much cuter, in my opinion, than the example that I gave. So yay for that. And yeah, I love it. Okay, so this is the moment. You're gonna take that eraser, and this is the time. If you wanna get rid of anything before we paint, get rid of it now. If you want to clean it up because maybe you have a couple lines where you want it to just be one line, go ahead and do that. Then we'll get our pencil and our eraser out of the way, like cleaning while we cook. And we're going to choose some colors. And since we've completely done a new pattern, I mean, you could do these. This is like coral and a very bright, like ultramarine, like blue, like maybe blue, even leaning towards like the teeniest bit of purple in there maybe. Then we have like a teal and a bright dark green. These are the colors there. I think I'm gonna shift mine, so I really want you to play. We're on our last day. I want you to do anything that seems good to you. This does not need to look Christmassy. You're the boss of it, right? I want some light colors and some darker ones because I know in my polka dot sections, I want something light and I wanna go over the top. I don't wanna deal with working around all of my little details. So, oh, let's see. You could leave part of it white, like see the white in here. I love that. And I do like, I think I'm gonna leave the top and the bottom white. Let me think if that makes sense. How about this? I'm gonna start with those white. We'll decide at the end. One thing I know I want is that real strawberry looking design. So that is taking some kind of red and adding water to it. So I started by putting my brush into my water jar, came over here. Guys, I forget this so often. Aren't you like, why does she even talk about it? We're gonna spray our paints. Great. Now, good paints are even better, okay? Then I'll take that wet brush I just put in my jar. I'm gonna grab some kind of red, swipe it onto here, okay? Now I'll add the water. So I want it to be light. Mine's darker than I want because I was just showing how to do it again. So I'm gonna take, look at, I'm actually moving it all down there. I want to use this part right here. Something nice and light. And then I know I'm going to also need something dark. When the time comes, I'll probably take it from this. So notice that over here I've got a lot of paint, less water, okay? And I can still move it around because a puddle has to be puddly. It's not a puddle if it's not puddly. Okay, we got these things. I know I'm gonna want that blue. Oh no, did you hear that? That's like my fire alarm smoke detector. And you know, like when the battery's almost, or it's low or something, and then it starts to beep. So I hope that doesn't happen for the rest of our video, but if so, we can all be annoyed together. I've got this really nice light blue here that I'm gonna use, and then I also wanna take and get a little bit. So if you're starting fresh, you could clean your brush out, dry it on your towel, and then take it and put it just like this, getting a little bit of that dark blue, and find a spot to put it. I'll put mine right here, okay? And we need it to have enough water to move, but we don't want so much water because the more water, the less control, the less water, the more control. Okay, and so I want this nice dark color with very little water, but enough to make it still a puddle. And I don't know what other colors I want to do yet. I could keep it, I could go red, blue, purple would be cute, or I could add yellow. I'm doing yellow. Also, look at this water. So good. Love being mindful about that. Yellow is my third color. This is like all primary colors, so it's kind of a lovely way. It's going to be nice and cohesive. I did dip into my fresh jar of water for the yellow. Make sure you clean your water if it's affecting what you see. That's when you decide. I don't know what other colors I want to use, okay? So if you want to play more and decide them, and you know you're doing some backgrounds, we'll make the backgrounds light. We'll make the other color dark. It might be cohesive if, let's say, we're going to have dark red dots here, that another section is that same dark red. You know what I mean? Use them in two spaces. And I think we're going to begin, let me zoom in here. So I'm getting into that light pink paint, and I will just ignore these little dots fully. I'll use the tip of my brush to run right along those edges, and I'll get light on the tip of my brush when I need to fit in tiny spaces, like up here. Notice I hold my brush a little more vertically, and I'm real light on that brush. I'm still going left to right and trying not to go over this section after I've done it. And I'm about done with this one. So I might want to use this in another section and bring it together, but I liked the idea of going like a light pink with dark pink, a light yellow with dark yellow, a light blue with dark blue. So I think I'm going to run with that one. So that means I'll find another section. I think I'm going to do this one with the yellow. So make sure you've got enough water in your yellow to make it nice and light. And if you get onto your paper like that and it's too dark, you can actually just go right into your jar and add water to it and kind of keep using it. And that's going to like diffuse your color, make it nice and light for you. Okay. Now, if you have too much paint and you need to lift some up, go ahead and do so by cleaning your brush, wiping it on your towel, and then taking that brush and using it just like a sponge. Lift up that paint and then try to leave it. The cuteness is real good on this one. I'm going to get right into my light blue. I'm chugging along today. And I'm going to go ahead and do the background of this. I might have to lift some more of that yellow. I'll notice that in a moment. Tip of your brush needs to run right along your edges for nice, sharp, clean lines. And you can have too much water for now. You just have to know how to lift it and get rid of it. So I don't have to worry about it as long as I'm feeling like I'm in control. If you don't feel like you're in control, you have too much water, so adjust that somehow. It could just be touching your brush to your towel and coming back like I just did. And then touching that brush. So my yellow is pooling right here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to zoom in a little. So I cleaned my brush and dried it, and I'll put my brush right here. Lift that up, and it's going to dry a lot nicer, or I would say more evenly. So I've got those 3 sections done. And since this was going to be white and this was going to be white and everything else is touching something wet, I'm going to take it to the dryer and we'll give it a dry. Okay, I dried the whole thing, and I can tell because I can't see the light reflecting on it anymore. And now I'm just looking at it and trying to decide on colors. And since I don't know yet, I'm going to do what I do know. So with a clean, dry brush, I'm going to dip the first third of my brush into my little puddle that I've already made up. And I'm just refreshing that right now. And I'm going to get in there on this tiny little section. Now this, remember, the more water, the less control, the less water, the more control. So you're really going in there with just the littlest bit, enough. Think about a gel pen. I like to think about a gel ink pen right now. and how that flows a little nicer than, you know, just like a regular, like Bic pen or something, I don't know. And so we want just enough of the water. I'm just refreshing my puddle here. Just enough that it flows nicely. If not, you're going to have a hard time with this because your bristles are going to be like separating. And you're not going to get circles that you like. I want you to notice mine are imperfect. And we're all just going to be okay with that, okay? If you're hating one of them because it's bigger than the rest, you can make all the rest of them a little bigger, is one way to go about it. No one knows what your intent was. Even on something like this, we don't know if you try to do exactly like this or you wanted to adjust it, you know? So I'm cleaning my brush and I'm going to get a little more yellow. I need to make a puddle of yellow that has, I'll show it to you here, that has more paint and less water. So this is a bigger puddle. I want one. In fact, I think I'm even going to get into this other yellow, the darker one above it, and get this. So it's nice and small, but has a good amount of paint. And I'll use that to fill in these ones. It's cute, isn't it? I went out of the lines a little bit there. That's okay. I had no idea we were going heavy into the polka dots today, but once you get an idea in your head, it's hard to get rid of it. So back for these ones. So whatever you, like you're using your observing of what happened on this one to deal with this one. So if you're sticking along with me and you're doing the same thing as me, which you might not be right now, don't forget, you got to observe what's happening on your page and then make those little adjustments. So if it felt out of control, you're doing a little less water. If it was tricky to get the shape you wanted, or you were seeing bristle marks, you may need to add just the tiniest bit of water, but any adjustment that anybody's doing today is real tiny. Tip of your brush in that water or into that paint puddle. And their imperfectness is absolutely fine. And notice I'm not trying for a circle. I've just been like tap, 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 tap. Unless it's real wonky, I don't even go back and fix it. Okay, I'm digging this. I think I maybe need some cheerful bright green. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab some of that lime green from the top of my paint palette, but you see what you want next and see what would be cute with what you've already created. And if you do this whole thing and don't like it, you can at least look at the one that you did and use that to make adjustments on another. I mean, you might have to paint twice, but that's fun, right? Okay, if I'm keeping that white, which I don't know still, that means I'm going to do this scallop one green. So I'm like literally pushing up my sleeves before I get in here. Now you do want to watch for your corners and everything on this. If you've got too much water, might be trickier. Okay, and I'm going to go left to right. So I probably have too much paint in here. I'll just touch my brush to my towel and keep working. Okay, I'm going to quick adjust my green before it dries. Just adding a little bit of a darker green. Okay, and then I'm going to do this and keep it moving. And because I worked quickly, we won't even notice. Light on the tip of your brush when you want to get close to your pencil line. Yeah, I like what this green's doing. I don't know why, but I like it. Now we talked about getting those dark colors in. We can either get the dark red and the dark blue in, or we can leave the whole thing really pastel and just use that light pink and that light blue again, the light yellow maybe. So this will be really fun to see what everybody does. Okay. I like how the green is similar to this one. So you know what I'm going to do? Same thing. Green is close to yellow. Teal would be close to that blue. So I'm going to make up a little teal, and I'm going to show you how, because I have one that I like on here. If you're using this paint palette, it's the fourth one down from the top, middle, and then the fourth one up from the bottom right. And I just really like that color. If you don't have this paint set, if you mix a blue and a green and just kind of play with it, if it's too blue, add some more green. If it's too green, add some more blue, and you should be able to kind of adjust it. And then I am going to do this on the scallop right above my blue. So I'm curious which one was your favorite for the week or for the 12 days. And I'm also curious, I wasn't sure if I should do this as a separate video, as like a Q&A, but I mean, we're here. We could just do it like this. Did you find that you preferred these to be on the easier side or the more complicated side? Is one thing I just want to know, like for my research and for my, as I consider doing other ones in the future. So some of them really were a lot harder, like day 2, I would say, with the whole floral design, much different than some of the other days where we're just maybe doing some squares or something and coming up with patterns that way. So think about that. I want to know what you have to say. I'm going to do this color as like I'm going to do a mix of purple and a red together to get some sort of a fuchsia color. On this side, you could do top left and bottom middle, but definitely you see what you think for it. And then when you like it, if that's what you're using, go for it. If you've got a skinny stripe like I do, you really do want to limit your water or limit your paint. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I just touched my brush to my towel, which will give me a little bit more control. And something I'm thinking about for the future as I go is I have some things that I want to learn and I want to work on. And I think I might just bring you along for the process for some of them. So sometimes you'll be watching, if you decide to, and see what I'm learning. And then you can join me or not, or just observe and learn, or I don't know, see what you think. And then other times would be like a dedicated series like this one. So notice over here, I just lifted up some of that excess paint. It looked darker and there was more, so it would have dried a little differently, so I just took it up. Here's what I'm really digging about this. So this is something as I observe, what do I like in art? A lot of times it's when you see several similar colors next to each other, okay? Look at this, my heat gun, my brush, and my nails. I mean, I like how they're similar but different. In fact, let's see if I can show you this or not. Can you see on this mug? I don't want to tip it too much. But there's similar colors here as well, like on the tree and things like that. I love that. That's a design that I will always lean towards. And I like that we're doing that here. I think I might even do orange right here, because look, then I have green, yellow, or if I did green again, I would have blue and yellow. I'll do green again. I think I might leave the orange out of it. Hope you're having fun deciding on the fly. You're probably doing that every time anyways, but usually I have a plan. Okay, I'm adjusting my color again. It's a little different than the other green that I used, but that's fine. Now, if my teal is wet, my colors might bleed. And because I can tell, if anything, it would be barely wet, I am going to leave it because I really genuinely do love bleeds in watercolor. So we do not always need to avoid them. We just want to know how to avoid them when we want to. Oh, it's all coming together, isn't it? I'm going to bring the pink down here. So grabbing some of my pink again. Now refresh what you need to. Make sure your puddle is always ready before you come here. That way you do not have to be working on anything and trying to multitask while your paint's drying. Yeah, I think I like how this brings in the top. When you've got a line dividing two sections, remember from our, I'm trying to think, our plaid stocking, how one of our colors, the dark red, was just right on the line. So you could always dry these two sections and add right on top too. I think I might leave it, but now I got to decide for my puff ball. If anything, I wish I had that coral color in here. That's really cute too. Let's see. I think I'm going to go with that light blue, which means I need to find it again because I've mixed some things around. I'm going to get in here. See how I just put a bunch of it right on that puff ball to start with? Now while it's nice and wet, I'm going to just pull that around, and you can pull out or you can just follow your pencil. As long as you get pretty much near your pencil, like look, I don't even have to clean that up. But I do have too much water, so I'll grab some of that. And then just for fun, if you wanted to add some darker blue to this side right here, we're gonna get a really cute wet on wet because it was decently wet. Look how shiny that is, okay? And so I'm just watching to see what happens. That's decently wet. It's gonna pull it a little bit, but it is gonna help it look nice and round, which is really cute and I love. Oh, I need my tag still, so I think I'm going to lift a little bit of this excess water up so when I go to the dryer, I'm not there for 45 minutes, you know? And then we'll come back. So if we ever do one of these and it dries in a way, because I think if I would have let it dry on its own, it would have dried in a way I liked more, but I moved it around, and really, if it's pretty wet, it's gonna blend it because you're moving water and paint, right? So it's blending it on its own. But you can always come back if you want to with a little bit. I'm just grabbing some paint right now. Maybe a slightly different color, but I don't care. And you can, you know, add another layer if you wanted to. This is like real sketchy lines with my paintbrush, just getting a little bit of something going on here. And then I have a little more detail on that palm. So that's up to you. Now I know I didn't get any wet paint touching this, so I'm gonna pick a color. I think that magenta maybe, because I don't know. It just looks cute in the moment. I still miss that coral. I wish I would have added some of that in there. And I'm just gonna paint this little tag. If you've got your fluff ball overlapping it and you can get your paint carefully around it, that's cute too. And I think I might do one more thing. You know how we sometimes grab basically like a wet brush and grab the littlest bit of black or navy blue, then test it out. It has to be really light. I think I'm gonna do just a little bit of that on the bottom of this bunting scallop situation up here, and then maybe some right on the bottom curve, so it's super light. You probably can almost not see it, and for me that's great. Oh my goodness, we did it. I love this one. It's got such a sweetness to it. So we're going to dry it one more time just to make sure even this isn't wet, and then we're going to come back with our ink and we're just going to hang out and work over our pencil lines. Okay, it doesn't matter what kind you use. I do think this one is good. A nice felt tip pen can be nice, but it's a little thin for me. But if you like it real delicate, that's a great one. There are little fine liners like this you can get, I know, at Michael's. That's a cute one. Any of these things are totally fine. I am going to use this one that came with that Mei Liang 52 color paint set. If you're interested in this one and that paint set, it's a couple of videos back and it is nice. I didn't want to use the whole set for this video series though, because I figured we all don't have it and it'd be trickier to find paints, you know. So we're going to start wherever you want, and you're going to go over your pencil lines. And we're just going to soak in the relaxation a little bit because this is day 12. Remember to turn your paper to get these lines nice. You want to make sure you can reach things real easily. This is such a cute, I love the baby colors. My neighbor's about to have a baby. And when she had her first baby, this was when I was pretty new to painting. She asked me to paint these florals. Like, so I did these big, I don't know, they might have been like 16 by 20 or something, floral paintings for her nursery. And she just told me she still has them up, and that was like maybe, I don't know, 4 years ago or something like that, 4.5. I thought that was kind of cool. So I think I'm trying to come up with something else to paint for her. She's having a girl. This will be her second girl. Yeah, I'm obsessed with this one. I am going to do, okay, I'm undecided, but I think I'm going to do a video of what you can do with these stockings. I have had this idea all the way from the beginning. I'm going to decide if I outline those dark yellow at the end, because I'm not going to outline these. But if so, I'll put it out soon. And if not, it was just an idea. Don't be mad. You can always use this ink layer to just kind of clean up your shape just a little bit, and I love that. That's where they say trust the process, because it's so many things on top of each other. And a lot of times at classes, like in-person classes too, I just think, you know, what people appreciate in these is just knowing what order, because that's kind of its own little puzzle, you know. Okay, now I'm going to get into this little fuzz ball. I'll kind of go over my scribbles that I already did, but just kind of. Like, I want to cover them, but if I cover them enough, your eyes are going to be drawn to the darkest color that's on top. And so we don't need to worry too much. I might just add a couple of these, and that's it. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to quick remind you of our questions for the day. Which one was your favorite? That's one question. Did you prefer the ones on the easier side or the more difficult side? That's your second question. Don't forget to share this on my Facebook page, Audrey Shantz Art. And I want to show you something that's kind of funny. I don't know if you can see it. I have like a fingerprint right here from the teal. I must have just touched it when it was, look, almost completely dry. Okay, I love this one. We went a far way from this to this, but I'm really glad with where we ended up. Okay, day 12, you might see another video, you might not. I think you guys are so awesome. Thanks for hanging out with me and taking time for yourselves during this series.